Good evening. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln. Welcome to BMC News Live in English. I am Vinod Narayan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines.
Bahrain tops Arab region and second in the world on Nikkei Asia's COVID-19 recovery index. Vaccinated Bahrainis can enter Germany starting from today. New COVID-19 vaccination rules come into effect today in Saudi Arabia. Kuwait likely to get work permits renewed for expatriates above 60. Britain seeks new trade agreements with Gulf countries.
News in detail, starting with the latest updates of the movement. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa today inaugurated the fourth session of the fifth legislative term of the National Assembly. The King's opening address was carried out online from Sakir Palace as MPs and Shura Council members remained seated in the chamber. Parliament session will follow Shura's and is said to be a general debate on multiple topics stemming from the King's address. Issa bin Abdullah Khalaf today opened the fifth edition of the Bahrain Smart Cities Summit at the Gulf Hotels Gulf Convention Center in the presence of Housing Minister Basim bin Yaqub Al Hamr and senior officials. Technology, sustainability and smart cities experts from Bahrain, Saudi Arabia and the UAE participated in the two-day event. 250 representatives of public and private entities concerned with the transforming sustainable smart cities into a tangible reality took part in the summit. In addition, more than 15 exhibitors from the private sector, ministries and government departments took part in the accompanying exhibition. Bahrain tops Arab region and second in the world on Nikkei Asia's COVID-19 recovery index. The Nikkei Asia's COVID-19 recovery index has ranked the Kingdom of Bahrain second best in the world out of 121 countries for tackling the novel coronavirus, low infections, vaccine rollouts and closeness to recovery. Bahrain scored 72 along with Chile and only 1 point behind Malta, the top scorer. Bahrain jumped up by 12 points compared with August 2021 ranking. The Nikkei Asia's COVID-19 recovery index has ranked the Kingdom of Bahrain first in the Arab world. The Nikkei Asia's COVID-19 recovery index assesses the pandemic response of 121 countries based on the factors divided into three categories: infection management, vaccine rollouts and mobility. The higher the ranking, the closer a country is to recovery, with low infections, higher inoculation rates and less strict social distancing measures. Drivers urged not to cross speed limits. A call has gone out to drivers to adhere to speed limits and follow traffic laws. Director General of Traffic Brigadier Sheikh Abdurrahman bin Abdul Wahab Al Khalifa said that legal procedures for traffic violations, including crossing speed limits, have been the same since the new traffic law came to force in February 2015. He said that crossing the speed limit is among the most common traffic violations that risk the safety of road users and the lives of drivers. He explained that setting speed limits on road is based on many criteria, mainly protecting lives and maintaining traffic safety. Other factors include the design of the road, number of lanes and distance between junctions, and therefore it is important to keep the speed limit by following the signs, he said. He said that adhering to the traffic rules has resulted in the reduction of traffic injuries and fatalities by 60% until 2020, despite the increase of the number of vehicles, traffic jams and new urban projects. More than 230,000 passengers have crossed King Fahad Causeway into Bahrain last week, according to reports. They said immigration officials at the causeway worked at full capacity to ensure the smooth flow of thousands of families entering Bahrain. A recent Saudi decision to lift a COVID-related travel ban on people aged below 18 has encouraged families to make the trip to Bahrain. An Eastern Province passport spokesman said Saudi passengers crossing the causeway are still required to use their passports instead of their identity cards. Vaccinated Bahrainis can enter Germany starting from today. Bahraini citizens vaccinated with the approved COVID-19 vaccines can enter Germany starting October 10, Bahrain's embassy to Germany has announced. Travelers must hold valid visas for all normally permitted purposes, including tourism, and undergo a PCR test 48 hours prior to travel. The decision follows the adoption of a recommendation by the Council of the European Union to ease restrictions on travelers from Bahrain. As a result of the efforts of the concerned government agencies and their keenness to share the results achieved by the kingdom in addressing COVID-19 with various countries of the world. 59 new COVID-19 cases registered in Bahrain on Saturday. Out of 14,812 COVID-19 tests carried out on 9th October, 59 new cases have been detected among 9 expats, 34 contacts of active cases, and 16 travelers. There are currently 4 cases in critical condition and 5 receiving treatment. Out of a total of 613 active cases, 609 are stable, along with 58 recoveries. Now we will be back after a very short break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. To have a wonderful shopping experience, please visit your nearest Megamart Macromart branch. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Welcome back. New COVID-19 vaccination rules come into effect today in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's new COVID-19 vaccination rules requiring individuals to be fully vaccinated in order to enter certain public places come into effect today. Under the new regulations, anyone wishing to enter government buildings, schools, events, or use public transportation and air travel must have received both doses. Unvaccinated people have been banned from entering government facilities, using public transport, and attending events in the kingdom since August 1st. Kuwait likely to get work permits renewed for expatriates above 60. Expatriates about 60 who hold no university degree and are still in Kuwait are likely to get their work permits renewed after a government agency last week invalidated a contested ban on their employment. The Legal Advice and Legislation Department has invalidated the decision issued by the Public Authority of Manpower in August last year, had no legal basis, clearing the way for scrapping the ban. UAE launches plan to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. The United Arab Emirates announced a plan for net zero emissions by 2050 and would oversee $163 billion in investment in renewable energy. This makes it the first country, Africa region, to launch a concrete initiative to achieve that climate commitment. The country has launched several measures over the past year to attract investment and foreigners to help the economy recover from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. We are committed to seize the opportunity to cement our leadership on climate change within our region and take this key economic opportunity to drive development, growth, and new jobs as we pivot our economy and nation to net zero, said Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. The UAE, an OPEC member, has in the past 15 years invested $40 billion in clean energy, the government said. The UAE will use the path to net zero as a way to create economic value, increase industrial competitiveness, and enhance investment, said Sultan Al Jaber, Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology and Special Envoy for Climate Change. The UAE is bidding to host the COP28 Global Climate Talks in 2023. Expo 2020 to host Sustainability Week opening. Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, the global platform for accelerating sustainable development, has announced a new collaboration which will bring elements of the week to Expo 2020 Dubai. The ADSW opening ceremony and the Sayed Sustainability Prize Award ceremony will take place at the Dubai Exhibition Center on January 17, 2022. The announcement was made during Expo 2020's Climate and Biodiversity Week, which aims to mobilize efforts to take decisive action for the health of the world. Bringing ADSW's vital performance to Expo 2020 will further demonstrate the UAE's leading role in driving action on climate change at home, in the region, and throughout the world, Over 352 million people have been directly or indirectly impacted by the sustainability solutions and school projects of the 86 recipients of the Zayed Sustainability Prize winners since the first award ceremony in all ADSW events other than its opening ceremony, and the Zayed Sustainability Prize award ceremony will take place in Abu Dhabi or will be hosted virtually. Britain seeks new trade agreements with Gulf countries. Britain has taken its first step toward trade negotiations with the Gulf Cooperation Council, asking British business what they want an agreement to cover. The country is targeting a deal with the GCC as it looks to build new ties around the world following Britain's exit from the European Union. On Friday, a 14-week consultation will be launched, calling on the public and businesses to share their views on what a deal should look like. A meeting with the representatives of the GCC is also scheduled in London. Malaysia lifts travel restrictions for fully vaccinated people. Malaysia today lifted interstate and international travel restrictions for residents fully vaccinated against COVID-19 as the country achieved its target of inoculating 90% of its adult population. The Prime Minister said the government has agreed to allow fully vaccinated Malaysians to travel overseas without applying for permission. The new rules takes effect on Monday. The government is preparing to shift into an endemic COVID-19 phase where it will not impose wide lockdown again if cases rise. Nearly 65% of the country's 32 million population, including those aged 12 to 17, were fully vaccinated as of Saturday. Blocks of molten lava as large as 3-story buildings rolled down a hillside of the Spanish island of La Palma, while a series of tremors shook the ground on Sunday, 3 weeks after the volcanic eruption. There were 21 seismic movements on Sunday, with the largest measuring 3.8, the Spanish National Geographical Institute said, shaking the ground in the villages. The blocks of red-hot magma followed from the side of the Cumbre Vieja volcano, where the size of the 3-story buildings, the Spanish Institute of Geology and Mining said on Sunday. The lava flow, with temperatures rising up to 100 and 240 degrees Celsius, destroyed the last few buildings that remained standing in the village of Todak, the Canary Islands, Volcanology Institute said on Twitter. About 6,000 people have been evacuated from their homes on La Palma, which has about 83,000 inhabitants. Lightning was seen near the eruption early on Saturday. A study published in 2016 by the journal Geophysical Research Letters found lightning can be produced during volcanic eruptions because of the collision of ash particles creates an electrical charge. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayanan, signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.